what may be important to you, your partner might not be aware. I got a video to play with this.
Not sure if I say thank you all the time.
Right. So
And so on my end, it's like I would like to be more aware and more conscious of things that are not the exception. So then when we do it every time that we're here, oh, thank you, whoever ordered the food. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Shinoria. Appreciate it.
right.
That is something that we also need to highlight because we're having a big discussion about the exception, but sometimes we don't have the discussion about what is normal and what is regular because those things still, warrant some type of acknowledgement and praise.
That's right.
The topic at hand that I have up right now is what may be important to you, your partner might not be aware. And we can also apply to just in everyday life, right? Even when you do business, how you move. I know we do have some business owners, but one of the things that somebody had told me and mentioned to me last year was during the summer was that I didn't tell them thank you. And I believe I did. Sometimes you could have sworn you said it right, but sometimes those little small things go a long way. So now I just try to make it a conscious effort to let people know I appreciate them. Some of the things you may have seen me doing even now with you guys is that I appreciate you guys' perspectives and dedication and time. And so even after the show, I try to reach out to everybody now to let them know, to personally thank them because I do think it's important and it goes a long way. You tie this all into relationships. There are so many issues and things in the form of a communication that don't have to happen, but because we don't tell people what it is that we want them to know. Because let's get it. If you got a new relationship, you don't have to have a new relationship. To me, I say every day you're gonna learn something. I don't care if you've been married 60 years, you probably still learning something that you ain't never seen before because you weren't never put in that situation. So sometimes it may come off guard. You stick around because that's your partner, but it's like, damn, like I never knew this. So it's very important that you communicate what it is that you don't want. Or what if you don't like it, say you don't like it. Sometimes people may get into their feelings, but at least they know what it is that you like. Because if it's something that you want to be a certain way, you have to vocalize that. You have to be verbal with it. Guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have Teej Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. Teej Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Lapeef family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off your first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today. They don't know. You could be irritated all day and they might not have a problem changing it, but they're not aware of it due to you not mentioning anything. So I think it's important for us to start voice, especially men, because there's a lot of men that just take shit on the chin all the time. And they don't really speak up in those situations to let them know on the front end. And then it becomes a habit. And then when you do try to say something, it's looking like, oh, you tripping. But if you would have had your standards set in the beginning, like you would have had your boundaries set, then it would have been okay. So let's go ahead and talk about it. What may be important to you, your partner might not be aware. I think I'm going to go and start with Indy first. I feel like we're losing over there. So I'm going to go ahead and get her involved. And then we're going to go to two people and come right back to Indy because I know she's very eager to speak on this.
No, I definitely can say that I've been guilty of this before, especially like going to therapy and stuff like that definitely opened my eyes to the fact that like people are not mind readers. But I always saw like voicing my issues or opinion as like any kind of confrontation, or like if I say anything, I'm causing drama in my relationship. And that just goes across the board. That's not even in like just personal relationships. So I would kind of just back off, or, you know, kind of let things just be as they were. And it would cause a resentment inside of me where eventually it would all come to a head. And now I'm pissed off all day, like you said, because something that was so small that I could have addressed 2 weeks prior, and now I wouldn't have gotten to this boiling point. And so I think that a lot of the time, especially in relationships or whatever, if you're a um, person who puts your feelings or your wants or needs last, that this can happen a lot. And people are unaware unless you say something to them. So they're thinking it's cool because you didn't say anything.
Okay. Brother Hink, the basement, sir. You go ahead to get your opinion on this.
Well, when you say partner, you mean because I don't consider my wife my partner. I talked about this on another show before. We're not equal, so we're not partners. Now, back in the days when somebody said that your partner, that means you somebody of the same sex. So, Jr., please explain to me partner.
You can kind of look at it however you want to, Hink. I know it's what they had in there. So if you want to look at your mate, soul tie, your rib, uh, however you want to label it, your a boo thing, your dick, your slave, however you want to do it, man.
See, you trying to get the police call on the show, ain't you, Jr.? When you use certain words, we already talked about this earlier. But is it important for you and your wife? May not be a word. We talked about it on your show before. I forgot I think her name was Carmen, and I was, let her know, you got to let me know what you want. You got to teach me, show me. I'm not going to give you sex the same way as I give my lady, or my former lady, or my ex lady, or my ex wife, whatever the case may be. I want you to show me and teach me how you want to be pleased, right? So, it's and if your partner's not aware, then it's my job to make her aware. It's my job to inform my wife or my girlfriend or my boo thing or my slave, whatever you want to call it. What my expectations are, what I'm looking for, what I need, and what I want. And if I don't inform her, I can't be mad at her. I can't be upset with her if she does something that I don't like. I'm disappointed in, because I should have took the time and teach her, especially if she's done it before and I never addressed it, never brought it to her attention, never made her aware. Now I'm looking like the asshole. I'm getting mad because she does it again. Well, why did I say something the first time it happened? Why did I make her aware? Why did I bring it to her attention? That's not fair to her. To me, that's disrespectful. So,
All right. Let me go to Jay. What are your thoughts? Everybody mute up. Me and Echo.
I mean, I think that's part of the problem is half of us expect the other person to be a mind reader. Some of us don't want to disclose our feelings because of how they're going to be interpreted or what the person's going to think about us. You know, Men, we definitely, you hear women all the time, oh, you don't talk enough or you don't express enough, because it's how what we express is going to be handled or going to be interpreted. So we stay guarded in that regard, but at the same time, you will resent a person for not knowing, you know. Uh, I think if you want something to work, being mature, if you want something to work, you have to let a person know exactly what is important to you, what you value. And if they don't make those adjustments and, show that they care for that or treat that, and guard that thing that's important to you, then you don't necessarily need to be with them. Y'all not aligned properly.
Yeah, and then too, just because somebody voiced their like what they want, you got to be able to receive it. Again, a lot of people don't like to listen, don't like to receive. They look at it as being personal. It becomes like an insecurity. You know, if you say, "Hey, I don't," you know, when I speak, don't just listen. Okay, well, I guess I won't talk. I won't talk at all. What is that solving? They're telling you how they feel, but then you turn around and you throw it right in their face, or you completely just shut down. It gets you nowhere. So just try that. That means you're not listening to me. You don't listen to you talk too much, or you talking too much. It just means talk less. It has to be like a balance. You guys have to compromise. It don't have to be all the way here, all the way there. It's kind of like a tug of war a little bit. You know, if you say you don't move in the bedroom, I just won't move at all. No, I'm not saying that. I went over y'all head. I just try to
Nah. I know exactly what you're talking
laughing.
about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Shout out to the starfish women, baby.
No, I think it's bigger than that though. I think when we talk about what's important is, again, we don't your partner don't know till you tell them. A lot of us go into these relationships, and shout out to whoever said, you know, people expect people to go, oh, he loved me, he's supposed to know this, right? Oh, that's my girl, she's supposed to understand. Understand what? All right. And you got to talk to your partner, right? It's not even about them dealing with it. It's about having an understanding of what's going on when you triggered or you see something, right? Again, a lot of people don't understand what moving in honor is. You owe that person a chance to correct the mistake. You owe that person a chance, right? And like I said, it's a lot of stuff my wife does that I don't agree with, right? But I understand the reason why. Right. I know, like I said before, I know in November when my wife get moody, because that's when the woman that meant the most in her life, her auntie, had passed. You see what I'm saying? Now that's an extreme case, but on a smaller scale, it means so much. Like, why do you just throw your pants why you just throw your pants on the bed and not put them? Because I'm gonna put them back on. Right. It's just having an understanding of your mate. And if you don't get this information when these issues, so-called issues, arise, again, it's not an issue for me, right? It's an issue for you, and vice versa, right? It's just about understanding your partner. So I think and it's not even about you changing it. It's about understandings, right? Because a lot of things I don't want nobody to be different than who they are. I want you to be the person you are. It's up to me to accept the person you are. Now, everybody, you want a person to improve on your timeline. You want a person to grow when you water them, right? When flowers grow, they grow on their own pace. They move on their own time, and people move on their own time. So again, it's not about me trying to critique you or wanting you to change it. It's about understanding it. And again, if I want to deal with that, that's my prerogative. And if I don't, I don't. See, but what's the common thing though, right? You're a person that you'll tell a person you don't like something, and instead of understanding it, you be like, oh, I can't deal with that. They ain't moving as fast as I want. They don't love me because they won't change this. Nah, some things just make people people. That's what makes them them. And if you can't deal with it, well, y'all got a conversation to have.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when you're starting off in a relationship, you must have those things. Well, I should say before you get in a relationship, because you're gonna grow as you're in a relationship and you get married. It's gonna grow, but starting off, you should let the person know what's important to you. That's gonna build your foundation. So if you don't say, "Hey, this is the things I want," then how are they gonna execute it? Because some people, like Ricky was saying, people are gonna be who they are. So if you want to know who they are, okay, cool. Say, this is what I want. See if they can match that. They'll say, yeah, I'm the same way. And then you can move forward. There are people that are very dismissive, but they're dismissive of the things they don't want to change. So should you give that person the time of the day to continue with them? No. You can, but that would be a risk, but I would say no. Also, like with the question, I give an example, a personal example. There was a time where I had a kid, my first kid, and with the breastfeeding situation, I used to eat a lot, right? And my husband is looking at me like, why are you eating so much? You're gonna get, a little big. You should slow down. And I'm like, nah, this is, I have to eat, right? So I'm still eating. A month go by, and he's like, yo, you're gonna gain a lot of weight. Chill out, right? I was like, yeah, but I have to eat. So he didn't understand the importance of what I was doing. So literally, I didn't know either. So I had to understand, first of all, he can't read my mind. Second of all, I can't read his, because he's still telling me the same thing. And I'm telling him, well, this is what I got to do. So I had to, you know what, let me give you some information. So I went on one of the articles that I had, and it says that as a woman, when you are breastfeeding, you burn the same amount of calories as a man. So I showed him the numbers, like, look, this is what it is. So this is why I'm eating so much. It's not that I want to eat like this, but I have to keep up so I won't lose the supply of milk. After that, cool. He was making sure I had my meals. What else you need? You need some snacks? And that was it. So some things is just like, even though he could see me doing something, obviously he knew it was important, but he didn't understand the importance of why I was doing it. So sometimes you have to explain it to people, because even if they see you, they still don't understand because you didn't verbally say it. Sometimes you have to say stuff in a certain way just for them to understand. So I do know how he communicates. So I had to make sure he's a facts-based person. If I don't show him this, he ain't gonna believe it. He's gonna be like, well, so learning your communication with your partner is very important. Me, I like facts, but then I'm also what I see, experience based. Cool. This is what I'm looking at. I see that this works. So he know when he comes to me, he don't have to always give me a fact on Google. So you learn your partner, and it would just make it better. And don't expect them to read your mind. Because a lot of times what's important to you may not be important to them, but eventually it can be important to them because it's important to you.
Well said, lady. Oh, go ahead, Precious.
I wanted to ask Indy though, because she had brought up something earlier when we kicked off this question about not necessarily speaking up, to get your need met. Where do you think that came from?
That's what I was just about to say, is that I think that we focus so much on another person and our expectations for them when we need to look internally. So like for me, like I said, it started with therapy, and I had to look at, like, my therapist went through like my attachment style, right? And that's kind of how we took it on. And she was like, okay, well, let's start down at the very basic root. Well, my childhood, I was a parent basically, because my mom had me at 15. So for me, a lot of my needs and wants fell on the back burner. So I didn't grow up in in a soft environment where I was like, okay, it's safe for me I had to grow up in this certain type of environment. So in my adult relationships, now in turn, it's becoming, oh, my needs don't matter. It's about the other person. And so I would get that resentment that, we see a lot of men get, right? A lot of men feel like their needs in the relationship are always taking the back burner because they're putting their woman first. And so I was experiencing that on my end, and I had to go to therapy because I'm like, well, why am I getting in this mindset of, oh, I'm just better off single. Oh, I'm just better off by myself because no one understands me and no one knows I meet my needs. I don't need anyone else to do it for me. But that's not healthy. So then I had to go to therapy. And so that's why I was saying, like, it starts internally. It starts with you. Before you can even have expectation for another person, you need to be realistic or own your shit and be like, can I even express to another person what my needs and my wants are in a healthy way without being mean or rude or, resentful? And I think a lot of men should go to therapy as well too, so they can figure that out.
Yeah. Okay. But so therapy, so now that you had therapy, now you're able to communicate in a transparent way with your partner and actually learn how things affect you and be aware of whenever you are affected, he knows how to move forward and trying to resolve issues with you. Is that what therapy did for you?
I think, yeah, it did do that
Think it,
for me.
you say you think it did that?
Not that it, I think that it did that. It did do that for me because now I'm at an age where I can have a healthy um, relationship with another adult, and you know, it turns out successful. Versus in the past, I wouldn't go to therapy. I'm just like, oh, this is how I am. Take it or leave it.
So what makes you think men need therapy?
Because I feel like men don't have a safe, unbiased place to express their emotions, or, you know, as a man day to day. I'm not a man, but I have a lot of male influence in my life, and I've watched and I've kind of operated along the same patterns. It's a very, and you know this from the military as well too, get shit done, don't complain about it, figure it out. Nobody is going to come and wipe your tears for you. No one is going to come give you comfort. No one is going to come have all the answers for you. If you don't figure it out, it's either eat or be eaten. And I think that men, a lot of the time, are in that mode or in survival mode a lot of the time because they're supposed to be providers, protectors, all these things. So going in a room for 30 minutes to an hour and having a safe place where no one knows you outside of this place, to be able to give your opinion the way that you want to give it without anyone getting offended, or you being, you know, open to saying like, my mom, you know, didn't give me a hug ever growing up, and no one is going to judge you for that. To have that safe place can do a lot for a man sometimes.
So I can relate to you on the military. They did teach us to, hey, get up, be strong. If you break your leg, drink some water, keep moving. We got to get the mission done. So on the contrary, are you
Mhm.
saying therapy would teach something opposite that we can go to, or something
Well,
better?
oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah. I mean, even with the military, like I saw a lot of messed up shit when I was in the military. I worked in the hospitals. Um, and I saw a soldier kill himself in front of me. It altered the complete brain chemistry for me and the way that I saw death after that. Because he was 21 years old and killed himself in front of me, like shot himself in the head. And you know what you see in movies and stuff like that versus somebody actually live shooting himself in the head in front of you, it's completely different. And after that, I had a very difficult time connecting with, like, when I would go to funerals for people who had passed in my family or being there in support, I was like numb to it, because I'm just like, I just went through this event where I saw someone who was 21 shoot themselves in the head. So if you're 89 and you die from a heart attack, your life was pretty damn good. And I had to go to therapy to realize that that is not normal. Like, that's not, oh, like there has to be a grieving process. You can't just completely go numb to it.
Well, I can
And
say this, that
go ahead.
my condolences go out to anybody lost, and you know, prayers for the brotherhood. You know, whatever they went through, the traumatic issues caused them want to do that. But I can say that men do have a place to go, a space to go. We have platforms that we actually come together and talk to. And this very network actually has a show every Tuesday where men can come together and, you know, vent and talk about solutions. So therapy, I wouldn't say would be necessary for a man, because I think for you guys, when you go to therapy to get healed, I think for the most part, that these therapists are telling you, hey, look, it's okay. There's better outcomes. Here's a solution if you fail. Here's a fix if you slip. Those things don't exist for men. They don't, not in this society. We got to be strong. We got to just figure out another way. And the only people that can tell us that is men who've been in our position before and that knows a different alternative route. So what we do is we come to our brothers and we talk about it and we figure out a solution. But as far as therapists, I believe, and I was told by actual mental health experts on the latest Thursday show, that for the most part, they just give you medicine, but they don't really attack the issue. You have to go back to the issue. The medicine weighs off. You got to take more medicine, and you get addicted to the medicine. Now you can't. You don't have anything else, and then you turn to drugs. So I think the best healer for men, period, is other men. Women, men could heal them too, but they have a hard time listening to us. I think it's the delivery pill that we feed them that they can't swallow.
I think therapy is needed for the person who need it, right? I don't believe men should go to women therapists. I don't believe that. I think, but that's kind of what Bruce is saying too, though. Even if a man does go to a therapist, right, he should speak to another man, because only men have understanding of men, right? So, but this is what I honestly feel about therapy. Ladies, if you need it, get it, because the truth is y'all hard-headed, and sometimes y'all need to hear it a bunch of times from a bunch of different people before y'all get it, right? But men, this is what I feel about therapy for men. It's a waste of money, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of effort, because when it comes down to the change being needed, the change is in you. Right? The same discussions you can have with a therapist is the same discussions you can have with yourself. The same discussions, if you really got people in your life that's really for you, they're going to give you them truths. Right? And like I said, I understand some women do have those women in their lives that do, be like, hey, girl, you on BS. You know what I'm saying? Girl, nah. But most, a lot of y'all circles suspect. And we addressed this on Friday's show, like with the sisters, like y'all really don't have no support systems for real. Y'all really don't, man. That's really what men complain about a lot of stuff when it comes to that. But if that's your dog, that's your dog. A lot of women, they have women around them that they think are their friend and they really don't like them. Right? I was talking to my wife the other day, right? This is just a little rant, right? My wife's a wonderful cook. I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? Just, right? And her friends, I'm about to tell them myself, but who cares, right? Her friends, they come over to eat, you know what I'm saying? She make like beer tacos and empanadas and burritos, and they be fire, right? Friends come over, I was like, they be eating her food. I was like, real talk, they don't like you. You know what I'm saying? They be eating your shit like, this heifer, you know what I'm saying? God, I wish I could cook this good. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that heifer, right? They her friends, right? But low key, they hate her. I ain't gonna say they hate her, but they hate that about her that she can cook better than them. You know what I'm saying? And I see it and I peeped it. And when I told her, she was like, you know what? You right. Right? And I think that's the relationships a lot of women have with y'all supposedly girlfriend circles, right? They with you, but they ain't really with you, right? They like you for a reason. They like you, but everything else is a total critique. Right? She do this better than me. She do that better than me, or such and such woo-woo, right? I think that's why women need therapy individually with a woman that's non-biased, because again, a lot of them, like, who do y'all go to for mentors? Like, what woman in y'all life giving Black women the right information?
What's that show called? The Real, right?
I think it's an honest question.
So,
what women protect? Like, what women give y'all the game to teach y'all to protect yourselves?
Megan Thee Stallion.
Stop it.
No, it's true though. Like, Rick has a point. Like, if you think about it, the women that's around us, a lot of them, they are going to judge you in a way that's going to make you, or try to make you make a decision that has that doesn't have the best interest because of the hating aspect of it. You do this better, so let me say this to her so she could do something opposite so I could be better. I mean, we walk around people like that all the time. So honestly, Ricky, though, it's usually the elders, because they have a lot of hidden gems, but you can't listen to everything they say. So it depends on your goals. So like if your goals is to be married and stuff like that, you listen to an elder who is still married, right? And then she'll teach you the game on that. But with life, I tell women to listen to men, because there's a lot of men that are very intelligent. They're more logical. So if you're trying to be opposite of that in a way that's going to help you elevate in a logical sense, not emotional, listen to a logical man, someone who could show that they could bring you to a certain space. And I learned that from experience, my own experience. Not all men, though. It's a certain type of man you should be looking at. Listen to a man. And as far as like the counseling, therapy, or whatever for men, and this is from experience of what I've seen, they do slap pills to men within the second visit of a therapist, of a therapy session. They're gonna slap pills and say, "Hey, take this while I'm talking to you. Take this. Let's see if you feel better," instead of attacking the actual issue. Now, women are different. I was in therapy before, and I wasn't suggested any pills. But for men, especially if you listen to like a female therapist, and males too, they'll give you a pill in a minute. Now, therapy is more of in the line of they want more money, so they could write prescriptions to do that. It's all a business. So if a man really want to seek help, like I always say, learn from your community, people around you. You can learn what not to do just from that alone, and then have a mentorship that's another leader, another male, and like what Bruiser was saying, have that space where you could speak. And also with that, if you have a lady that is, sound and could give you some advice in a different way, right? Because women do have a way to help as well, but not with everything. Then, seek into your own personal space with your woman.
So because a therapist can't prescribe medicine, only a psychologist can. So if your therapist they can refer you to like a psychologist, and then they can say that this is the medication I suggest based off of this, but you have to actually go to like a psychologist and they have to do like a blood draw, and they also have to do an entire psych eval on you before they can just give you medication. You have to actually be like prescribed and diagnosed with an actual like neurological
disorder.
So you're
issue.
talking about the procedure. So the fact that they even offering that's what I'm talking about. It don't matter how you got it or where you get it from, who's giving it to you. It's just the fact that hey, this is an option. If you're feeling this way, here you go. And that's what I'm talking about. That's not attacking the issue.
But for some people it is, because for some people when they do go into therapy, their brain, it's actually like neuroscience. Like there's a book called The Feel Good Handbook, and it talks about the brain waves and how like PTSD and traumatic instances can keep you up and actually like mess with your sleep, your food, all of those things. After a while, the human brain begins to deteriorate when you've been deprived of food, sleep, all those things, which can happen whenever we look at people who have depression, depending on the level, or even chemical imbalances with certain psychological disorders. And so sometimes they do need that extra dose of serotonin in order to rebalance the brain.
No, they
and
don't.
so it shouldn't be a long-term fix, but for some people, they're so close to that line of like suicide and whatever. That's why some people who literally try to kill themselves, they inpatient them, hospitalize them, and medicate them, because at that point they are so far past that line that they can't come back without the help of rebalancing their chemical imbalance. And
Right.
So once they get their chemical imbalance under control, then you can begin to look at things like cognitive behavioral therapy as a long-term fix. You never want to put someone on medication long-term. And I am bipolar depressed, and I have taken medication before. And this is me being transparent because of the things that I saw in the military. Medication was not a long-term fix for you or for me. Cognitive behavioral therapy and actually doing your research and going to a therapist. Real therapists are not supposed to give you a bunch of advice when you're in the therapy sessions. And the things that they do give you advice on are actual cognitive behavioral techniques, exercises, and application. So it has nothing to do with advice. These are actual real life things. Like for me, it was grounding techniques. So actually physically going and walking outside so I can get vitamin D because it's good for me and it helps rebalance my brain, or sitting in the grass and touching it if I feel like I'm having anxiety and things like that. So if people aren't doing their research on it, then that's not trying to be funny, but that's their own fault, because there's so many resources now and medication is just a quick fix.
Yeah,
So
I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. The things that the therapist is doing for you sounds great. I'm talking about the medicine aspect. So I have family members that served the military, retired, that have things like you mentioned the story earlier with the guy doing that to himself. I see people and heard stories from that. My husband, matter of fact, military, same thing. He went to war as well. It's the same situation. I watch him every day. So everything that you talk about, sure, but he's not on any medicine. All right. You don't have to have medicine. And I'm not going to speak his personal story on here on what he has seen, but I'm saying that I watch him, with dealing with the stuff that you may be dealing with and probably worse. And you don't need medicine is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is therapy is cool depending on what they're trying to serve to you. They slap pills on people too fast. And then they're going to give you those methods that you said, walking outside, getting vitamin D. That should have been one of the first things you probably should have done instead of saying, hey, think that you should have this. This is the things that we should do. That's all I'm saying. So people could do what they want. I'm just saying, take wisdom with it. Don't lean on this medicine thing. I'm more of a holistic person. You could do other things to help. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't go to therapy. Just, kind of lay off on that prescription. That's all I'm talking about.
There is holistic options, like you were saying, where they prescribe a vitamin regimen. Like they'll literally, like I said, take your blood and they'll say, okay, well, you're low in these things or these things. So these are the vitamins like ginkgo and these zinc, magnesium, whatever it is. And they're like, these could even help you or your diet. So, I mean, there is holistic practices. Like I said, it's just all about the research that you do.
So yeah, I get it, therapy and all this stuff, and I've been in the military, and ever since I've been, going to the VA, to the clinic, I see the same guys for the past 12 years coming back trying to suppress the post-traumatic stress disorder, and then they are there every year. It never stops. So a lot of these things, these remedies, they're cool and all, but they don't heal you. They don't do none of those things. And I think men, for the most part, the reason why we'd rather go to other men, because I believe, and I have experience, and I have seen the evidence of men being able to heal each other of their issues. And to Lady Dodd's point, it is a business. It is a business. I've had an issue where, I got an injury, and the attorney recommended me to a therapist, physical therapist, and they know each other. They always send each other to each other. So what they do is they send you to the therapist, and the therapist run up the rate, and the lawyer gets a kickback. It's all a business. They don't want you to really heal. You really can't heal, but they recognize that. That is why the VA pays you a compensation, not for a duration until you heal, but for life. For life, because they know these things will never go away. No matter how much medicine you take, no matter how much chemical balance treatment you do, it'll never go away. That's why you're permanent. So we recognize that, and we know that if we want to get any of these issues, the best people to come to is people who have the experience and know the solutions and being able to help you get over that hump.
All right, Joe, hold on. Before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and make sure we can move on. We can have this conversation. It's just we can have a show about it, separated from this, about therapy and you guys' experiences and everything. I do think it's important, but I just don't want to make sure we don't get too hung up on it.